Hello and welcome to America Speaks Blog Talk Radio, where America gets to speak. My name is Paula Flo, your show hostess, and I want to welcome you to today's show entitled Duck, Dive, or Delivered. August 29, 2014 was the last most convenient day for responsible American adults to join together to have Federal Bill Ending Corporal Punishment in Schools Act H.R. 5005 reached the House floor of the present 113th Congress with the least number of challenges. That is because the bill is scheduled to expire on January 2nd, 2015, and between now and then, media will focus the attention of every American on the November elections, and that show will be followed by holiday season sales. I would like to invite listeners to visit a developing Facebook group where the timeline for this legislation is posted, and it may be accessed by going to our website, www.thehittingstopshere.com, and scrolling down in the left column to our Facebook link. When opened, review material posted there in the description domain at the top. Please click on a link there entitled Legislative Protective Needs Met for U.S. citizens under 18 by August 29, 2014. On July 4, 1776, America celebrated its first Independence Day. The time now in America is 237 Independence Days later, and the need for another successful battle for God-given rights and freedoms for each individual on every square inch of American soil and its territories is at hand, peacefully and effectively. And this is an achievable goal when responsible adults unify to fully employ the law of the land, the U.S. Constitution. Founding Father Abraham Lincoln referred to the U.S. Constitution as the only safeguard of our freedoms. Duck? Why? Because the opportunity for each adult member of America to have the United States restored to greatness is hanging in the balance at the present time. While adult members of We the People ignore U.S. federal legislation already crafted to protect the most disadvantaged and vulnerable citizens among us, for a third time, government officials open the way to increasing levels of corruption. The government behaves this way because we the people pose zero threat to them when we flagrantly fail to take simple steps to protect the most vulnerable and needy among us. The hardest work to protect the young in America is complete. We have successfully inspired a federal legislator to craft a bill to make this protection accessible to school-aged children and teenagers. We the people display apathy, complacency, and irresponsible behavior in the most flagrant way when we ignore such essential legislation that is available to meet the needs of the developing human beings around us, and we have already done so twice. To allow H.R. 5005 to fail for a third time shouts out to federal legislators, do what you want with our American sons and daughters. The pattern of the media seems to have remained the same during the life of the bill each time that it has been introduced. They shoot a young black American male in the back, then pour on the media spotlight to exhibit violence and racist misconduct to dwarf the issue of school beatings. Like clockwork, they show all the black communities behaving in irate ways, saying irate things, and suddenly the need to end school beatings becomes meaningless. Missouri, the state where USA school beatings were banned years ago. Yet the majority of Missouri educators and the public at large remain ignorant of this fact. Missouri, where school beatings are rampant and child protective services kidnappings are widespread. Missouri, where I've personally sought support from Black American leaders to have them end school beatings in this state, and I remained ignored. Missouri, where before, during, and after all the attention of the recent tragedy of another Black American male, the Missouri school beatings will continue, and those who have been shouting murder become invisible again when it comes to their children and teenagers being treated like slaves on old slave masters' plantation. To duck right now is probably a wise thing to do. They are already behaving like we, the people, are without a constitution, because that is the way we are acting. It is the way we, the people, today treat U.S. government misconduct. Dive? Absolutely, because they are paid with hard-earned U.S. tax dollars to place their hands on U.S. citizens for one violation or another and receive perks when they do so, in our homes, in our schools, airport checkpoints, during their police-for-profit schemes, and in most cases, in violation of American citizen rights. Finding mothers and fathers empowered to speak out for the protection of the offspring under their wing is soon to be at a premium. If you dive, they might just miss you. Delivered. Negative on that one, America, but near enough for this possibility to occur. That's the good news. Protecting today what God calls the greatest is essential to preserving America under God's grace and blessings. Why this activism has begun is a short message. Citizens under 18 are targets for legalized abuse when left in the hands of U.S. government-funded employees, including educators, even to the point of death and without their being prosecuted for their crimes. It is a given that using a deadly weapon to train a developing human being is an unintelligent thing to do, just for starters. Doing so has remained legal in 19 U.S. states and territories as long as the trainer is an American educator and the developing human being is an American school-age student from preschool to adult GED programs, and that the blows are executed on U.S. school property, juvie halls, and the like, public, private, and charter. Primary targets for this ill treatment are America's socioeconomically disadvantaged and those who have special needs, particularly nonverbal autism. The unhealthy impact this maltreatment has on America's society is immeasurable, resulting in harm far beyond its borders. And to think that more money is spent on insurance in these schools for keeping the beatings legal in their code of conduct policies rather than on their critical needs for basic school supplies like textbooks, crayons, and today's technology. Does it seem reasonable to believe that America can enter the road of restoration while U.S. tax dollars supply the income of government officials who themselves have termed the use of the wooden board to strike an individual as cruel and unusual punishment, and the wooden board itself a deadly weapon? This practice remains legal within a governmental institution which purports to be a place where its government is aggressively enforcing non-bullying programs and laws nationwide. I invite you to view on YouTube a video entitled "Ban Bullying from the Top Down." I reach out to each listener with a request for support in having H.R. 5005 become federal law. If H.R. 5005 fails to reach the House floor of the present 113th Congress by January 2nd, 2015, members of We the People at Large and of all ages will be increasingly more subject to losing all practical access to the Constitution by the minute. And citizens under 18 today will survive their adult years without the law of the land, protector of God-given rights, being in any further effect. And adults of today will have earned that for the young ones in their surroundings and for themselves. Thank you for joining me here on America Speaks Blog Talk Radio, where America gets to speak. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you.